الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد خاتم النبيين وآله وصحبه أجمعين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. What ayat are we on? Who knows? 17? 20 what? 18? No. 26, barakallahu feekum. We're on 26. We did 18 through 25 the week before last week. We're on ayah number 26. What ayah is that? Now last week we did a review, but we didn't finish all the way up to where we finished that. But we're at ayah 26. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين ومن يفعل ذلك فليس من الله في شيء إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقاه ويحذركم الله نفسه وإلى الله المصير قل إن تخفوا ما في صدوركم أو تبدوه يعلمه الله ويعلم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض والله على كل شيء قدير يوم تجد كل نفس ما عملت من خير محضرا وما عملت من سوء تود لو أن بينها وبينه أمدا بعيدا ويحذركم الله نفسه والله رؤوف بالعباد قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين. Who wants to translate? Nobody? Tell you. Who else is this way? Who? Fatima men. Abdul Qadir? Have them all move and look. Just make 3 lines right here. So that way I don't have to yell at people all class and lose my voice. Just come. You guys can sit there. Everyone is clean. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, قُلْ اللهم مالك الملك. Say, Oh Allah, you are the owner of all the power and dominion. All of the power and dominion, you are the owner of it. You give that power and dominion to whoever you like. Man tasha, you give power, might, and dominion, meaning the kingdom of the earth, to whoever you like, or whoever you wish. وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ, and you take that might and power and dominion from whoever you will. وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ, and you give might, authority, power to whoever you wish. وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ, and you subdue, and you humiliate, and you let to be overcome whoever you wish. بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرِ, and your hands is all good. إِنَّكَ عَلَىٰ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. Indeed, you, O Allah, are over everything capable and able. تُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَتُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ. You cause the night to enter into the day, and you cause the day to enter into the night. وَتُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ, and you cause the dead, you bring out the living from the dead. وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ, and you bring out the dead from the living. I'm going to come back over it. I'm just translating it first. I'm going to translate all of it this time. It's my new way. I'm going to translate all of it to give you a first wake up, and then I'm going to come back and give tafsir. That makes sense? وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ وَتَرْزُقُ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. And you provide and spend on whoever you will without ever becoming tired of doing such. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. The believers are not allowed to take the kuffar as their friends and protectors aside from the believers. That you select the kuffar to be your friends and protectors instead of the believers. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ, and whoever does that, فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ فِي شَيْءٍ, there is no connection with him and Allah. إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَى, except that they do that seeking to protection from them, out of seeking some type of protection or a shield against the kuffar. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ, and Allah warns you all about Himself. Allah cautions you all about Himself. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ الْمَصِيرُ, and to Allah is the final destination. قُلْ, say, O Muhammad, إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ, if you all hide and conceal what is in your chest, O تُبْدُوهُ يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ, or if you make it open and you show it, Allah knows it all. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, and He knows what's in the heavens and the earth. وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, Allah is able to do any and everything. يَوْمَ تَجِدُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ خَيْرٍ مُحْضَرًا. So remember, pay attention to the day where every soul will find that which it did from good actions to be present in front of him. وَمَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ سُوءٍ تَوَدُّ لَوْ أَنَّ بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَهُ أَمَدًا بَعِيدًا. And he will also find that which he did of evil. And he will wish, he will love that there will be between him and his evil deeds to be a long distance that has such a long distance, far distance. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ, and Allah warns you about Himself. وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ, Allah is kind and compassionate to His servants. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ, say, O Muhammad, to these people, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ, if you love Allah, then follow me. يُحْبِبَكُمُ اللَّهِ, Allah will love you. وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ, and He will forgive for you your sins. وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, Allah is the one who forgives and is the one who showers with mercy. قُلْ أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ, say, أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ, obey Allah and His messenger. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, and if you turn away and you don't want to do that, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْكَافِرِينَ, then Allah has no love for the disbelievers. Allah has no love for the disbelievers. طيب? So now we go through the tafsir, inshallah. Any questions about that translation? طيب, no problem. So, first, the reasons of this ayat being revealed. The reason of this ayat being revealed. One of the reasons where the ayat, قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ, O Allah, say, O Allah, you are the owner of all power and might. Right? تُؤْتِي مُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ, you give it to whoever you want, and you take the might and power from whoever you want. The mulk is the kingdom, the authority in the land. The mulk is the kingdom, the authority and power in the land. So we say someone has the mulk over that, they are the authority and king. Maybe not called a king, they might be called a president, right? They might be what they call like a superpower. They have the mulk in the land. Like it will be considered that America has mulk, right? They have power and authority in the land. It will be considered that some lands have mulk. Mulk is power and authority in the land. Right? So Allah, He gives that to whoever He wants, and He takes it from whoever He wants. It was mentioned that when the Prophet ﷺ, he conquered Mecca. This is quote on Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhuma, that when the Prophet ﷺ conquered Mecca, he promised his ummah that they will have the authority and power over where? Over Persia and Rome. Remember this? Persia and Rome. There's so much we can say about this. Where is Persia today? Who knows?
Iran.
Iran. This Iran area. Afghanistan, Iran. This area is Persia. Right? Rome was the opposite. They were the two superpowers during the time of the Prophet ﷺ in the pre-Arab history. Right? The two superpowers during that time were Persia and Rome. The Persians and the Romans. The Romans are normally who? Christians. Christians, right? Which will be considered today, Rome is where? In Europe. Italy, that's where Rome is. But Rome didn't mean, that was the seat of the power, and it exceeded all of the lands that they controlled. Who will be considered the Romans today?
France.
Any Western nation.
Any Western nations. The Americas, the Britons, the Canada. These are the Romans. Why? They share. That's their asl. That's where they come from. Who are the Persians today still? The Iranians. They're still, that's who they are. So this big beef between the Romans and the Persians is still going on today. It's still going on. We shouldn't be confused by that. To think that this is new problems between Iran and America. This is an old beef from before the Prophet ﷺ. Between the Persians and the Romans. Between the Persians and the Romans. So the Prophet ﷺ, after they conquered Mecca, he promised his people, he promised his ummah, that you guys will conquer Persia and Rome. So you have some munafiqun, they say, yeah, Muhammad, slow down, wait a second. You conquered Mecca, that's cool, that's a nice deal. But don't start thinking that you're going to conquer Rome and Persia. These are the superpowers of today, of that time. You're going too far. We're with you, you conquered Mecca, that's a big deal, that's nice for the Arabian Peninsula. But now you're talking about conquering the world. What is the world at that time? Persia and Rome were the superpowers of the world. If you conquer them, you've conquered the world. So this is what the Prophet ﷺ promised his companions. But the munafiqun, those who couldn't see and understand that, they said, no, this is impossible. You're doing too much now. We're with you, you conquered Mecca. But to say that you're going to conquer Rome and Persia, that's too much. So Allah sent this ayah down saying what? Qul Allahumma, say, oh Allah, to you belongs, you are the owner of all might and power. Not Rome, not Persia, not America, not France, not Britain. Allah is the one who owns all might and all power. Allahumma malik al-mulk, tu'til mulka man tasha. You give that to whoever you want, and you take that from whoever you want. That's one reason why it was mentioned that it was revealed. Another reason that it was mentioned that it was revealed was that during the Battle of Khandaq. Anybody knows what the Battle of Khandaq was?
Yeah, it's Medina.
It was in Medina. What happened in the Battle of Khandaq? Anybody know?
Yeah.
Huh?
The kuffar of Mecca was attacking Medina.
Uh-huh.
For self-defense, they made a khandaq.
They made a Khandaq. Barakallahu fiqh. That's also called the Battle of Ahzab.
Yeah.
Right? When the kuffar, they wanted to wipe out the Muslims. They said the Muslims are getting too strong. So they said, we're going to wipe the Muslims out. So they gathered all of the different disbelieving groups, and they said, we're going to attack Medina this time. We're not going to let them come out and defend. We're going to attack Medina itself. So when the Prophet ﷺ got wind of it, they didn't know what to do. It was the huge army. They couldn't fight that whole army. So who came and brought this beautiful idea to the Prophet ﷺ? Who?
Salman.
Salman al-who?
Farsi.
Al-Farisi, Salman the Persian. Salman al-Farisi, he told the Prophet ﷺ, listen, when we had these type of situations, we would dig a khandaq. We would dig a trench around our cities. So that now the enemy's horses and their things, they couldn't just run into the city. So now the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, they started to dig this. They started to dig this trench, right? So while they're digging the trench, the Prophet ﷺ and his companions, they came across a huge rock. They say this rock was like a hill. They had this mi'wal. The mi'wal is like what is this thing? A pickaxe, right? The thing that you hit, boom, boom. So they're trying to dig and they couldn't dig it. So what do? They send Salman to go talk to the Prophet ﷺ. Said, man, tell the Prophet ﷺ about this hill of a mountain rock that we just found. So the Prophet ﷺ, he came. Now see how the Prophet ﷺ is, right? They came to the Prophet ﷺ. He came. He took the pickaxe, right? And he hit it. Boom! And they said when the Prophet ﷺ, he hit it with the pickaxe, it was like thunder struck. Thunder came. Boom! And they said light came out of this rock. It split like a rock, like light. And when the first time he hit it, he said that I was just shown, it was shown to me that we conquered the lands of Al-Hira. Al-Hira is a place in Iraq. Al-Hira was one of the powers at that time. They were people who had control of Iraq, southern Iraq. This is like south of Kufa. So they came and they said that this was like a famous place amongst the Arabs at that time. And the Prophet ﷺ said, it was shown to me that we're going to conquer Al-Hira, the castles of Hira. So they're like, whoa, that's a big deal. So the companions, Allahu Akbar, when he hit it, boom, they made Allahu Akbar, right? So then he hit it another time, boom. And it was a big light came out. And he said, it was shown to me. They're going to conquer the red castles of Rome. Whoa. Then he hit it a third time. He hit it a third time. And it said, it was shown to me that you'll conquer the castles of Persia. So some of the munafiqun, they said, Ya Rasulullah. They said, now they said to the companions, you have this type of people, right? You know when you have a goal and you believe in your goal, right? You have some haters that say, oh, he's crazy. He's going to really do that? Or she's crazy. Do you hear what they said? They said you're going to finish the whole Quran. I don't know about that. So the munafiqun, they said, do you hear your prophet? You guys are getting ready to be killed by all of these Arabs around here. You're digging a trench for your own safety right now. And he's talking about conquering Rome and Persia. This is how they didn't believe it. They couldn't understand it. He's talking about conquering Rome and Persia, and you're stuck in Medina. You can't even get out of Medina right now. So this ayah was revealed. And Allah knows best which of the reasons why. Tayyib? Now, another ayah that we have, that we need to know the asbab and nuzul for it, is the ayah where Allah says, لَا يَتَّخِذِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الْكَافِرِينَ أَوْلِيَاءَ. Where Allah Ta'ala says that the believers should not take the kuffar to be their friends and protectors. The believers should not take the kuffar to be their friends and protectors. It was mentioned that some of the Ansar, a group from amongst the Ansar, they had some Jewish, they took these 3-4 Jewish people to be their friends. Their batan, their close friends, they're the one that their advisors. They used to talk to them. So some of the Sahaba knew about this and they said, don't take these Jewish people to be your friends. Don't take them to be your friends when they just want to test you in your deen. They want to try to make you leave your deen. That's their only true reason for trying to be close to you. So the Sahaba said, no, they're okay. You know, some people said, no, that's my friend. They're okay. They're not going to do me like that. So Allah sent this ayah down to let them know that don't take the kuffar to be your friends and protectors. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially not when the believers are there for you. Don't take the kuffar to be your friends and protectors. Tayyib? Then another ayah that we looked at is قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهِ. Say, إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ. If you love Allah then follow me and Allah will love you. So this was revealed in regards to the Jews and the Christians who said that they loved Allah. But if they loved Allah, they have to follow the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. If you love Allah, you have to follow the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and only then will Allah love you. That makes sense? Tayyib. Let's go through it. Allah Ta'ala says, what time is it? Who knows time?
14:20.
Bismillah. Inshallah. Allah says, "Kul in kuntum tuhibbun." Allah says, "Kul Allahumma malik al-mulki tu'ti al-mulka man tasha' wa tanzi'u al-mulka mimman tasha' wa tu'izzu man tasha' wa tudhillu man tasha' biyadika al-khayr innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir." Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say, O Muhammad. What does it mean? Say, O Muhammad, O Allah, Malik al-Mulk, the one who owns all of the power and dominion. Malik al-Mulk, the one who owns all of the power and dominion. tu'til mulk. You give this power and dominion to whoever you want. Wa tanzi'u, and you take it. You take it. You remove that power and dominion. You remove that power and dominion. That's what tanzi'u means. That you remove it and you take that power and dominion from whoever you want. Wa tu'izzu man tasha, and you give might and power to whoever you want. This might and power is of two ways. That Allah Ta'ala, He helps you over your enemies, or by iman. That Allah gives you pure, strong iman. That's some of the greatest izzah that anyone can have, is that they have pure, strong iman. Or Allah gives you a lot of wealth, or Allah, He puts fear in the heart of your enemies. You might not be that bad and dangerous, but Allah puts fear in the hearts of your enemies for you. Or as well as it comes that it was by the prophethood of the Messenger ﷺ, that whoever has the prophethood amongst them, that they have the izzah. Regardless if they're only a small amount of people. Regardless if they are only a small amount of people. Ask me. What's the question? What ayah are we on? Very good question. The first ayah. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ. We're on ayah 26 of Al-Ameen. It's the third page. No. The fourth page of Al-Ameen. Page 53. 53. Page 53. Page 53. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ. Page 53. The 26th ayah. Are we all on the same ayah now? طيب. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِ الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ. Say, O Allah, you are the owner of all might. Malik al-Mulk, it means you're the owner of all might and dominion, all power and authority. Allah owns it, no one else. Allah owns it. So what you realize from here is that Allah is the one. If you want to find might and power, you don't seek it from no one else except the one who owns it, right? You don't got to seek it from the so-called world powers. You seek it from Allah. And this is what Allah is telling His Messenger ﷺ here. That don't worry about what the people are saying around you. Allah owns all of the might and authority. So seek it from Allah. Allah is the one that's going to help you against your enemies. Allah is the one that's going to give you iman that's true. وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ. So Allah is the one who's going to give you izzah. Allah is the one who's going to give you what? Izzah. وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ. وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ. And Allah, He causes or allows to be conquered and humiliated and subdued whoever He wants. If Allah wants you to be humiliated, if Allah wants you to be subdued, if Allah wants you to be conquered, it's all easy for Allah. Allah gives it and takes it from whoever He wants. بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرِ. In your hands is all good. In your hands is all good. إِنَّكَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. Indeed, Allah is able to do any and everything. So our Shaykh Muhammad ibn Amin al-Hararee, he says something about this here. That being humiliated, being subdued, has nothing to do with how many numbers you are. How numerous you are in numbers. Right? Some people, they like to point at how many numbers we are. We're 1.2 billion Muslims on the earth. Who cares? Does it look like we're 1.2 billion Muslims on the earth? Or 1.3? Does it look like that? We as Muslims, we don't put pride on numbers. We put pride on quality. We put pride on quality. As the Prophet ﷺ, it was said when the people were coming back from the battle, and the mushrikeen, they used to say, they were talking to the Prophet ﷺ, and they said, يَقُولُونَ لَإِن رَجَعْنَا إِلَى الْمَدِينَةِ لَيُخْرِجَنَّ مِنْهَا الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُ. Right? Why? Because the kuffar were more in numbers. So they felt that they had izzah because of their numbers. But the izzah is with who Allah, the might, the authority, the honor is with who Allah gives it to. Not just because of the numbers. Just like you can be less in number and overpower the one who's more in number. Or you can be more in numbers and be humiliated. So the Shaykh Muhammad Amin al-Hararee, we know him, he's Oromo. His lineage that he's an Oromo, an Ethiopian from Oromo. He's from the tribe of the Oromo people, right? So he brought an example from his own people. And he said, look at the look at the Oromo people in the east of Africa. He said they are more in number. They have a lot of number. It's a lot of them. But the Habesha people rule them. The Habesha people rule them, even though they're more in number. And he said, why is this? They're more in number. He said, one, because people lost the will to fight. They gave up. They don't have the will to fight. And he said, because they cooperate with the enemy. Sometimes you'll find some people who have the will to fight. They have the will to not be subdued and conquered. But then you have some other people from amongst them who don't have that will to fight. And they cooperate with the enemy. So every time that the enemy comes to fight with them, and some people are ready, there's some people who open the door for them to come in. So they're not united. They don't work together properly. And whenever the people do not unite and work together properly, and they divide and they can't agree, then it becomes easy for anyone to conquer them. Because you just have to have some power and show that you're going to work together. And he gave an example. He said, this is what's happening today. He says, whatever you see today, you still see it today. It shows you the truth of this. That Allah gives power and might to whoever He wants. That a small amount of rulers, a small amount of people, the Habashi people in Ethiopia are the minority, but they rule the majority. That tells you something. And that's an example that he gave. Similarly, you can look at it, right? You look at a place like the United States of America. United States of America, in regards to the world, is not a huge place. It's not. The number of people that live here is not that much. How can a country that's way on the other side of the world control the whole other part of the world? Because of the people's hearts are weak. They don't want to resist. They don't want to stand up for their land, so they let people come and take their lands from them. Here, it's open. Let me open the door for you. Come in, sit down. Let me feed you. Kill my people, it's okay. Rape our women, it's okay. Just let me be safe. Let my family go, and you can kill everyone else. It's okay. That's not the way. You have to have izzah, but Allah gives it and takes it from whoever He wants. When Allah Ta'ala says, بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرِ, what does it mean, بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرِ? The hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a sifa, is a characteristic that we affirm for Allah. And we don't say how is His hand, and we don't make examples to say His hand is like our hand. We know Allah has a hand, and in His hand is all good. Allah has a hand. His hand is not like my hand. It's not like your hand. It's a hand that's befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that make sense? The hand of Allah is suitable to His majesty, is suitable to His being, and is not like any of His creation. Allah Ta'ala, He continues, says, تُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَتُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَتُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ وَتَرْزُقُ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Allah Ta'ala, He says that Allah is the one who tulijul, meaning what tulijul layla fin nahar, meaning that He takes from the tulijul layla fin nahar, that He enters the night into the day, or that He takes away some of the day and gives it to some of the night. You know how the times change. And when you look at it, subhanAllah, look how beautiful it is when the nighttime comes. Is there like a switch when you shut it off and it comes back on? It just enters so naturally and beautifully that people love to look at it. Say, look how beautiful the sunset is. Look how beautiful it is for the night to come into the day. Only Allah can do this. Tulijul layla fin nahari, Allah says, Tulijul layla fin nahari wa tulijul nahara fil layl. And when it comes up in the morning time, it's not like a shock to your eyes, that when your eyes have to adjust to it. It just happens, smooth transition. It's a smooth transition. Tulijul layla fin nahari wa tulijul nahara fil layl wa tukhrijul hayya min al mayyit. And Allah brings out the living from the dead. So He causes some people who might not have had no iman, who were kuffar, to become alive with iman. Allah can only do this. A person was dead. They didn't have iman in their heart. And Allah caused them to be alive with iman. Allah brings out an alim, a scholar, someone who has knowledge from amongst those who are jahil. And as well, Allah brings out the life, literal life. So this is figurative meaning and a literal meaning. The figurative meaning is what? That Allah brings out the one who has knowledge from the one who is ignorant. Causes them to have knowledge after being ignorant. causes a person to have iman after being a kafir. And a literal meaning is that all of us were dead before, now we're alive. There was a time that we were nothing, we didn't live, right? And now we're alive. Only Allah can do this. وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ وَتُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ. And as well the opposite. Allah causes some people who might know something to be ignorant one day. Or He causes someone who is a believer to become a kafir. Right? And as well, someone who is alive, He may cause them to be dead. We die one day, right? Does that make sense? Or I'm going too fast? I'm going fast?
Makes sense.
Oh, okay. So we said, تُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَتُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ. That Allah causes the daytime or the nighttime to enter into the daytime. Allah causes the daytime to enter into it causes the nighttime to enter into the daytime. Well, in the opposite, He causes the daytime to enter into the nighttime. He causes the daytime to enter into the nighttime. وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. And He brings out وَتُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ. He brings out the living from the dead. Allah brings out the living from the dead. And this can be figurative or literal. This can be figurative meaning that is not. What's a way to explain figurative? It's small.
Figure of speech.
Yeah, but I'm saying for the younger, figurative meaning.
Figurative means that it could be similarity and compared to.
A figurative meaning, but that's still a word they're not going to understand.
Okay.
A figurative meaning a word, understanding that's not the literal wording of it.
A similitude.
They're not going to understand that word. Right? No, but the literal meaning is, okay, I'll give you an example of figurative and literal. Right? If I say, a person says, right, I'm going to beat you till you die. Right? I don't know, that's what came to my head. Right? There's a figurative meaning of it and a literal meaning. The figurative meaning is that he's really going to beat you and you're going to die. That's literal. The figurative meaning means that I'm going to beat you bad. Does that make sense? It doesn't really literally mean that I'm going to beat you till you die. Oh, he tried to kill me. No, he didn't. It's a figure, yeah, but I'm just trying to explain it in a way where they understand.
It's like a person will refer to that concerning basketball or
Give me an
concerning
example.
sports.
Mashallah, it's a metaphorical meaning. Yes, thank you.
But they wouldn't understand metaphorical.
But I guess they did. That's what they told me.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Right? So,
All right, we don't want to take too much time
yeah.
there. A metaphorical meaning, thank you. It's a metaphorical meaning and a literal meaning. Thank you. Like a metaphor, exactly. You guys know what metaphor is? Tayyib, okay. Then we say, وَتُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَتُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. So Allah literally brings out the living from the dead, right? Meaning that all of us were dead at one time and now we're alive. And then metaphorically, He might cause a person who was dead with they had no iman. So they're dead. Right? Because they have no iman. And He causes them to be alive with iman. Or a person was ignorant. And a person is ignorant, they are dead. Ignorance is death. Remember that. Ignorance is death. If you're okay being ignorant, then you're okay being dead. And knowledge is life. The only way that you'll be alive in the meaning of the word living is to have knowledge. So Allah Ta'ala will bring out the one who is dead because of their ignorance and cause them to be alive due to their knowledge. And the opposite. A person may have had knowledge and then they forget it all, they become ignorant. Or a person may have been a believer and then they become a kafir. And a person who was alive becomes dead. Right?
How about this, the son of Nuh alayhi salam, right?
Yeah.
He is,
Good example.
and also the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam.
But he was never a believer.
No, the تخرج الحي من الميت, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's from Nuh alayhi salam. The son of that is kafir, right? The son of Nuh alayhi salam. And the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam
I get what you're saying. That you came from a kafir and became a believer. Maybe this is possible. I've never heard this one before, but it has a nice, Allah knows best. Yeah, that's a nice understanding. mashallah, what he mentioned was that also, that sometimes you have a dead person, right, who's dead with iman, but from them comes a believer. Like the son, like Ibrahim came from a kafir father, but his Ibrahim was one of the best believers. And the opposite, that from a believer sometimes comes a kafir, right? The person is a believer, but then the child becomes a kafir. That's a very mashallah, very ajib istinbat from there.
Out of death came life.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful mashallah. It's definitely very possible to be a good ta'wil of the ayah. Yes. Huh? I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. The person who's alive becoming dead? Huh? A person who's alive becoming dead? A person alive becoming dead, the figurative meaning of it could be a person who was a believer becoming a kafir. The Prophet said there's going to come a time where a person will go to sleep as a believer and wake up a kafir. As well, the person who might have knowledge, they might lose that knowledge by not acting on the knowledge. The way that you lose your knowledge is not by acting on it. As the Allaamah of the passages say, that knowledge necessitates action. That your knowledge calls out for action. And if you don't act on it, then the knowledge will leave you. If you don't act on it, the knowledge will leave you. طيب? Was that good? طيب. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Oh, wait, we didn't finish this. Okay, well, also, وَتَرَزُقُ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Then Allah Ta'ala says, وَتَرَزُقُ, He provides for whoever He wants. Allah is able to give this and provide for whoever He wants. بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Hisab here, it means without becoming tired. Or without losing, or without his wealth going away. The destruction or the perish of his wealth. Allah doesn't become tired of providing for us. Allah's wealth never goes away. That makes sense? The lady hisab here, it means that the wealth will not go away and Allah will never get tired of providing. طيب. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Allah says, the believers should not, it is not permissible for a believer to take a kafir to be his friend or his protector, his assistant, right? What does this mean here? Because it's not cut and dry. It's not cut and dry. The believer should not take the kafir to be his assistant or his helper when he has the believers dun al-mu'mineen, instead of the believers. He should not take the kafir to assist them instead of the believers. Tayyib? What does it mean? What did you say? You shouldn't trust them, definitely, number one. Yes. You shouldn't depend on them, yes.
Don't take a person like disbelieve into your intimacy.
Don't take them into your intimacy is the exact meaning as well. That you don't make them your close friend, your bitana, that you come to them for advice. What should I do? You know, I'm like, subhanAllah, you know, especially for the younger people. I don't know. But I remember my mother used to say to us when we were young, I was young at one time too, right? And when I was younger, right, we used to say like, my friend. And I just always says, you don't have kafir friends. I said, but what are they then? You're just your associate. You just know them. But they're not your friend. Right? So, you know, you had to think about this. And I remember that aqidah, that belief becomes grounded in you. Say, wait, I don't have kafir friends. I didn't have a proof for it at that time. I just knew my mother said I couldn't have kafir friends. But now, you know, alhamdulillah, we have proof for it now. But that becomes a part of your aqidah. You say, I don't have kafir friends. They said, well, why not? My mother says so. That's your proof? Yes, that's my proof right now. Until later on. But you realize something from that. And the kafir can never be your friend. He can never be your one who gives you good advice. Why? If you go to the kafir and you say, man, you know, I'm feeling depressed. The kafir might try to tell you to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Right? Or what is the kafir going to say? The kafir comes and you say, hey, you know, John sent me a letter saying that he likes me. And you go to the kafir for advice and say, well, write him back. He's cute. Right? Tell him you like him too. That's the advice the kafir is going to give you. But if you go to the believer, they're going to say, well, yeah, a'udhu billah. Ma'adallah, that's terrible. Run! But the kafir's going to try to, push you that way. Oh, that's cool. Man, John likes you. I thought John liked me. Man, you're lucky John likes you. The Muslim is going to be like, yo, John is a kafir. You're crazy. I'm going to tell you, that's terrible. You better get away from him with that nonsense. That's the difference. The kafir might tell you to use this drug. Right? You guys know that's what's happening in the schools. They say, here, use this drug. It'll make you feel happy. You don't expect that from the mu'min. And Allah said the Muslim, pay attention to the word Allah said. The mu'min, the believer, the good doer. Not just the one who says, I'm Muslim. No. Even that one we don't take as friends. We should only take the believer as being our friends. The one who believes in Allah and His message. The one who's striving to work on that path. Not just the one who says, I'm Muslim high. You say, yo, it's Salat time. I never see you pray. It's Ramadan. What? And they fast a different type of fasting, right? They got a different type of fasting where they're fasting from, they eat and drink. They just fasting from other stuff. You say, what type of fasting is that? So you have to take the believer, the good person to be your friend. So you don't take the kafir to be your friend and to help you and assist you because they're only going to take you to the fire. Now, here comes a question as well. What about if the believer, right, is it permissible? This is not even talking about loving them. Loving them is out of the question, wholly, completely out of the question. You can never love them, kafir. You can't do that. But now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes an exception. He makes an exception for when you can take them for an assistance or for help. And this exception has rules to it. This exception has rules to it. Allah says, وَمَن يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْءٍ. Whoever does that, whoever does what? Takes the kafir to be his friend, protector, assistant, whatever, right? Sadiq. Allah says, whoever does that, فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ فِي شَيْءٍ. That Allah, He has nothing. The connection between Him and Allah is cut off. If you do that, if you take as your friend and protector the one who's an enemy to Allah, Allah cuts you off. The connection between you and Allah is cut off. So you made a decision on who you're going to side with. Either you side with Allah and the believers, or you side with the kuffar and shaitan. Which party are you with? Right? So Allah, if you do that, pay attention what Allah says. وَمَن يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَلَيْسَ مِنَ اللَّهِ فِي شَيْءٍ. He has nothing to do with Allah. The connection between him and Allah is cut off. So if you are connected to the kuffar and your heart is attached to them and you're seeking your help from them, when Allah already told you that He's the one to ask for help, that He is the one who has all power and might. If you seek it from the kuffar, Allah cuts you off, but Allah don't want to do with you. إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَاةً. Except the one who does it to prevent some type of harm from them. He does it to put a shield up between them. What does that mean? This is very important, pay attention. It's very important, pay attention. If the kuffar have power in the land, if the kuffar have power in the land, you may have to, out of necessity, take assistance from them. Out of necessity, pure necessity. Now, this assistance that you take from the kuffar has to have a benefit for the Muslims. It cannot be solely to benefit the kuffar. You understand that? The benefit cannot be to solely benefit the kuffar. You say, oh, but I had to. No, but that doesn't benefit the Muslims at all. All you're doing is benefiting the kuffar, helping them kill Muslims. That benefit doesn't return back. That's not permissible. The benefit that's permissible is that if it protects the Muslims and is a benefit for the Muslims, that overrules the benefit for the kuffar. That overrules the benefit of the kuffar. And you need to take some type of shield. Another example, you live in the lands of the kuffar. Of course, you have to be nice to them. As it comes that sometimes you smile at a person, but your heart hates them. Right? You smile at them and shake their head. But your heart hates them. But that's called good dealings with people. The Prophet ﷺ, he did it at one time. That a man came into his home, he said, what an evil companion he is to his tribe. Before he came in, he said to Aisha, what an evil person he is to his family. So when he came in, the Prophet ﷺ smiled and treated him good. So Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, Ya Rasulullah. When he left, she said, Ya Rasulullah, you said he was a bad guy. Why you treat him nice? He said the worst person in the sight of Allah is the one that people avoid because of their dealings with them. People don't want to be around you because of how you treat people. People don't want to be around you because you're mad at people all the time. People don't want to be... So the worst person is the one that people avoid them due to how they treat them. Due to how they deal with them, because of their bad manners. People are like, man, I can't be around them. Always sad. Oh, no, right? Allah doesn't like this. So the Prophet didn't like this person. He said he was bad. He had bad qualities. But he still welcomed him and treated him nice. Sometimes you smile in the face of a person that you hate. And this is what the believers do with the kuffar. They don't like them in their kufr, but they still smile out of good character. They still say, hey, how you doing? Out of good character. They still treat them nice out of good character, but not out of love for them. Not out of having affection for them. Because a loving and affection, having affection for the kuffar is not permissible. It is not permissible. But you still have to treat them nice. You understand? There's a difference. You still have to treat them nice, even though you might not love them. You still have to treat them nice. Oh. Yes.
Now, as far as what you just said, where does that tie in where we're commanded not to break the family ties? And if we have people in our families that are non-Muslims, as many of the indigenous Muslims of this country have,
again, you treat them nice. But you don't love them in their kufr. You treat them nice. Some scholars, they mention, Allah knows best, they say that you love, there's a natural love and there's a deen love. There's a natural love that you can't not have natural love for your parents if they're not Muslim. You're still gonna have a love for them and affection. But you don't love them, and the love that's on top of that is the love of the deen. You don't love them with their kufr. Still. But you still treat them nice. Even if they're not a Muslim, you can't tell your parents no. You still have to say, they tell you to commit shirk. You just don't do it. You still have to treat them well. You still have to be nice to your neighbor, even if they're not a Muslim. It is not permissible for a Muslim to kill his neighbor or to kill the person that he lives with because they say, oh, he's not a Muslim. No, that's not permissible. You have an agreement with them of safety, even if you didn't make the agreement. Once you come into the non-Muslim country, you have an agreement with them to be a non-combatant. You have a pact with them as long as you're there. That we will not fight each other. You will not find aggression from me towards you. It's not permissible. You say, oh, they were Kafirs, I punched them in the face. No, it's haram on you. It's haram on you. Do you understand that? So you still have to treat them nice. إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَىٰ. And then Allah says, وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ. And Allah says, Allah warns you about Himself. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ الْمَصِيرُ. And to Allah is the final ending. Then Allah Ta'ala, He mentions, قُلْ إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ أَوْ تُبْدُوهُ يَعْلَمُهُ اللَّهُ وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah says, if you hide what's in your chest, meaning, some of you might like the kafir person, right? You say, man, I like, John is pretty cool, man. I don't care what nobody says, I like him. I love John, actually. Like, John is my man. Allah says, if you hide that in your heart, قُلْ إِن تُخْفُوا مَا فِي صُدُورِكُمْ أَوْ تُبْدُوهُ. Or if you show it, يَعْلَمُهُ اللَّهُ. Allah knows it all. Whether you hide it or you conceal it, right? I'll give you an example back, right? Like, when you said, they said, man, I had a guy, right? I thought he was a cool guy when I was young, right? Kafir guy, right? I thought he was all right, man. We became like this. How did we become cool? I don't know, right? But we became cool. One day, we fought all the way from school to his house. That's how you become friends back then, right? I don't know how you guys become friends now, but us, when we were young, we became friends. We we literally fought 10 times that day, right? You remember Ryan, right? Yeah, Ryan. So we fought from school all the way to his house. It was like a mile. We would fight, stop fighting, and fight again. By the time we got to his house, we were like best friends. We would fall on the side. I couldn't beat you, you couldn't beat me. We might as well be friends, right? But still, in my heart, I had to always remember that I can't have a kafir as my friend. I liked him a little bit. I thought he was a cool guy. I couldn't beat him. He couldn't beat me. We kept fighting all the way home. And, it was a nice thing. But the heart of the Muslim can't accept the kufr of the kafir. Right? It's a reality. You might have somebody that you like, you guys get along, but your heart can't accept them. Right? So you have to be able to differentiate between the two. Yes, he's cool. If I saw him today, I still say, hey, Rob, what's up, man? But I'm not going to chill with him. I'm not going to talk with him. We're not going to be friends. I'm not going to ask him for advice, even though we might have things in common. You're not going to be my close friend. That's a place that only is for the believers. Only for the believers. So if you hide it or you conceal it, Allah knows it. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And Allah knows what's in the heavens and in the earth. وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. So Allah first, He talks about He knows what's in your heart. Right? Then Allah says on top of that, He knows everything that's in, not just what's in your heart. He knows everything that's in the heavens and the earth. وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah is able to do any and everything that He wants to do. يَوْمَ تَجِدُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ خَيْرٍ مُحْضَرًا. Remember, now pay attention. After Allah mentioned all of that, what's going to help you to do good on this? Right? What's going to help you? When you might like that person, you might have a faith. What's going to help you to be strong upon that? Remember a day when every soul will see the good of that which it has done present. مُحْضَرًا. يَوْمَ تَجِدُ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ خَيْرٍ مُحْضَرًا. Remember a day when every soul will find that which they did of good to be present, waiting for them. وَمَا عَمِلَتْ مِنْ سُوءٍ تَوَدُّ لَوْ أَنَّ بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَهُ أَمَدًا بَعِيدًا. And they will find, and whatever they did of evil, they will wish that there will be a long distance between them and that. A distance so long nobody knows how long it is. That's what the amad means, right? So long that nobody knows. They just want it to be far away from them. When they see the evil, may Allah protect us from the evil of our actions, right? When we see the evil, may Allah protect us from being us. But when other people see the evil of what they've done, they will wish and hope that that evil will be far away from them on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Get it away from me, O Allah. Everyone knows their evil, what they've done wrong. Imagine every evil that you've ever done, whether you forgot about it or not, being present on that day. When you see that, you'll wish that this will be far away from you. So if you wish for it that day, what should you do today? Keep it far away from you today. Don't be evil. Stay away from disobeying Allah so that you won't have to wish for it on that day when you have the ability to stop it today. You have the ability to keep the evil far away from you today. Do it now. Don't wait till the day that you can't do anything about it. Don't wait for the day that when it's present, you can't stop it anymore. Allah then will hold you accountable for it. But today, you can save yourself. Make tawbah. Ask Allah to forgive you. And don't go back to the sins you commit. Because that day, think about it, every time you do the sin, it's a sin. Not one time you do it, it's just, no. Every time you put that music on and listen to it, it's a sin. Every time you touch that which you shouldn't, it's a sin. Every time you look at that which you shouldn't look at, it's a sin. Every time you don't listen to your parents, it's a sin. Every time. Think about how big that might be for some of us on Yawm al-Qiyamah. May Allah forgive us. You'll wish that it'd be far away from you on that day. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ. And Allah, again, He warns you about Himself. Look how nice Allah is to us. Allah is telling you how He is. He's warning you now. Pay attention. وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ. Allah is warning you about Himself today. So you don't have to see it. Allah is warning you that He will do what He says He'll do. And He is capable of doing it. He's not making empty threats. Allah is not selling wolf tickets. Allah is making real, live threats to you. These are promises from Allah. That if you don't do right, I will punish you. It's a promise. Think about that. Save yourself from the punishment of Allah. يُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ. Allah is warning you today about His punishment so that you can stop doing the sins. So you can stop doing it today. Don't wait till it's too late. وَاللَّهُ رَؤُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. But Allah is kind to His servants. He's kind to them. Why? So that you don't give up on the mercy of Allah. So that you don't think that I've done too much to be forgiven. Every single one of us can be forgiven if we turn to Allah sincerely. If you turn to Allah sincerely, Allah is Ra'uf bil ibad. He's kind to His servants. But you have to be able to one to turn back to Allah. You have to be the one that wants to seek Allah's forgiveness, and Allah will forgive. We don't have enough time to continue. So we'll stop there. Any questions? Was that clear? Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Huh? Very clear? طيب هذا وصلى الله عليه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
جزاك الله خير.
Yeah.